The shape-shifting Tanuki, the predatory vampire Juboko, the cunning Kappa, the mystical Ninetails, the noble Kirin, and the curious Tsuku Mogami. Each offers a window into Japan's spiritual and cultural imagination. Yokai are not mere legends, they are reflections of the natural world and the human spirit, embodying fears, hopes, and lessons. These beings, each with their own quirks, powers, and personalities, invite us to step beyond the veil of the ordinary and into the realm where the rules of reality bend and ancient forces linger. We journey into this Japanese world to uncover the tales of 6 yokai, spirits that have captivated the imagination for generations. Their stories begin here as we trace their origins and understand their powers and uncover the timeless truths hidden within their myths. This is the story of the Japanese yokai. For generations, humans have been telling stories, tales, and legends about creatures found all around the world. From the griffin to the chupacabra and from the leviathan to the Chinese dragon. It's high time we set out an adventure to learn about them all. This is an expedition for the mythological. Welcome to Mytho Safari. The raccoon dog yokai, famed for its shape-shifting abilities, is a staple of Japanese folklore, known as the Tanuki. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notifications to join our channel. And while you're at it, be sure to check out mythosafari.com where you can grab some awesome merch like t-shirts and other cool products. Every purchase helps the channel grow and keeps us bringing more content your way. Early depictions of the Tanuki date back to the Heian period, where it was portrayed in stories as a cunning trickster with a penchant for mischief. In Shinto belief, the Tanuki is considered a kami, or a spirit, that of the forest, embodying its playful and unpredictable nature. The Tanuki's defining power lies in its remarkable ability to transform. According to folklore, Tanukis achieve their transformation through a combination of concentration and magic, often using a leaf as a talisman. They place the leaf on their forehead or the object they wish to change into, and with a chant or a focused thought, they alter their form. This ability is not limited to disguising themselves, they can also alter their surroundings or create entire illusions to bewilder their victims. One of the most famous depictions of this ability is found in the Edo period, where Tanuki stories became popular in art and literature. In these tales, Tanuki would transform into teapots, lanterns, or even entire buildings to trick humans. The transformations were not always for malicious purposes. Often they were used to create mischief or teach lessons about humility and gullibility. The playful and mischievous nature of the Tanuki is immortalized in statues found across Japan, especially in front of homes, temples, and businesses. Many shopkeepers often place Tanuki statues outside their businesses as talismans for attracting customers and ensuring success. These usually depict Tanuki with several distinct features: a round belly, a straw hat, a sake bottle, and often an exaggeratedly large pair of balls. While the latter may seem peculiar, it actually has a symbolic meaning in Japanese culture. The enlarged balls represent abundance, good fortune, and wealth, and it is said that the Tanuki's balls are so magical that they can stretch to cover vast areas. These statues often include wide-eyed expressions and cheerful smiles. They serve as guardians against misfortune and reminders of the importance of humor and adaptability in life. As their laughter fades, the forest grows darker and quieter. The trees here are twisted and ancient, their roots snaking through the soil like veins. In the distance, a lone tree stands taller than the rest, its bark dark and gnarled. But this is no ordinary tree. This is the Juboko, the vampire tree. The Juboko's origins are rooted in the blood-soaked battlefields of Japan's warring states. According to legend, ordinary trees that grew in these fields absorbed the blood of fallen soldiers, transforming into vampiric yokai. The earliest written accounts of this vampire tree appear in the Edo period, in folklore collections, where it was described as a tree that feasts on the life forces of humans. The Juboko's powers are chilling. It lures travelers to rest beneath its branches, then strikes with a needle-like root that drains their blood. The victims are left pale and lifeless, their essence absorbed into the tree. Some stories even suggest that the tree can mimic human voices, calling out for help to draw in the unsuspecting. Its bark, if wounded, bleeds as if it was alive, and those who dare to harm it often find themselves cursed. The most famous story of the Juboko involves a wandering samurai who stumbled upon a tree like this. The samurai, weary from a long journey, sought refuge under its branches, and as he rested, he heard faint whispers that sounded like pleas for help. Unsheathing his sword, he attempted to defend himself against an unseen threat. Then, the vampire tree struck, its roots lashing out to ensnare him. Realizing the danger, the samurai prayed to the spirits of the battlefield, apologizing for the violence and lives lost in his own past wars. Moved by his sincerity, the spirits of the fallen intervened, granting him the strength to strike at the tree's core. The Juboko, weakened by the spiritual energy of the prayers, crumbled into ash. From its remains grew a small sapling, a symbol of redemption and renewal. Despite its fearsome nature, this vampire tree is not invincible. Folklore tells of shamans and monks who confronted the tree, offering prayers or blessings to purify its bloodlust. In some versions, the tree can be appeased with offerings of food or small trinkets, sparing those who show respect. A faint sound of rushing water guides us away from the oppressive shadows of the vampire tree. The forest opens to reveal a glimmering river, its surface reflecting the moonlight like liquid silver. This is the domain of the Kappa, a water-dwelling yokai known for its dual nature, both mischievous and dangerous. The Kappa's roots trace back to Japan's ancient water deities, appearing in texts as early as the Nihon Shoki. Depicted as human-like creatures with webbed hands, turtle-like shells, and beaks, the Kappa is both feared and revered. Its defining feature is the water-filled depression atop its head, which grants it strength and vitality. If the water spills, the Kappa is rendered powerless, a weakness often exploited in tales. Legends of the Kappa are as varied as its behavior. One of the most enduring stories about the Kappa involves a farmer who encounters the yokai near a river. The Kappa challenges the farmer to a sumo wrestling match, boasting it cannot be defeated. The farmer, knowing the Kappa's weakness, bows deeply before the match as a sign of respect. The Kappa, compelled by its own sense of honor to return the bow, spills the water from its head, losing its strength completely. Helpless, the Kappa begs for mercy. The farmer agrees to spare the Kappa on the condition that he promises to leave the village alone and assist him with his crops. The Kappa, grateful and bound by its word, helps the farmer by teaching him advanced irrigation techniques, which allow the village to thrive. The Kappa's quirks extend beyond its powers. It is known for its love of cucumbers, often accepting them as offerings in exchange for safe passage across rivers. However, it is also a trickster, known to challenge humans to games or riddles, with the stakes often being life or death. As we travel upriver towards the forest, we feel a warm sense in the air, as though a fire flickers just out of sight. A soft glow emerges between the trees, and the air feels alive with energy. This is the presence of the Nine-Tails, or Kitsune, one of Japan's most revered yokai, known for its intelligence and magical abilities. The Kitsune is a shapeshifter capable of assuming human form. The Kitsune's origins are deeply intertwined with Shinto beliefs, where it serves as a messenger of the deity Inari, the god of rice and prosperity. Early records of the Kitsune appear in the Kojiki, Japan's oldest chronicle, where it is portrayed as being a great power and wisdom. Over time, its image is evolved into that of the Nine-Tails, a fox spirit whose magical strength grows with each tale it gains. The famous story of the Nine-Tails starts with love. A young man encounters a beautiful woman on a moonlit night. Unbeknownst to him, she is a Nine-Tails disguised in human form. They marry and live happily for many years, raising children who possess both human and fox-like traits. However, one day the man discovers his wife's true form when he sees her tails in her reflection. Devastated, she leaves him and returns to the forest, though she continues to watch over him and their children from afar. Another tale speaks of a wicked Nine-Tails that attempted to overthrow a kingdom by disguising itself as a concubine and influencing the emperor. The plot was foiled by a priest who recognized the Kitsune's true nature and exorcised it. The fox fled, leaving behind a cursed stone, the Sessho Seki, which was said to kill anyone who touched it. The Nine-Tails is also associated with foxfire, a spectral flame that it uses to light its path or confuse its enemies. These flames said to glow in hues of blue or green, and are thought to symbolize the Kitsune's connection to the spiritual realm. Some legends even suggest that following the light of a Nine-Tails can lead to great fortune, or great peril. The forest opens into a clearing, bathed in a soft, ethereal glow. Here stands the majestic Kirin, a yokai of unparalleled grace and nobility, resembling a deer or a horse with dragon-like scales and a golden mane. The Kirin is a creature of profound significance, appearing only in times of great peace and virtue. The Kirin's earliest mentions appear in Chinese texts like the Shanhai Jing, where it is described as a celestial beast of unparalleled wisdom. When the legend reached Japan, it took on its own unique characteristics, aligning with Buddhist and Shinto ideals of harmony and morality. The Kirin's powers are as majestic as its form. It is said to judge the hearts of those it encounters, revealing their true nature. Its presence brings blessings to the land, ensuring prosperity and peace. One of the most enduring tales of the Kirin comes from a time of strife in an ancient kingdom. A ruler, wary from the endless conflicts among his people, sought guidance into the wilderness. As he meditated beneath a great cedar tree, the Kirin appeared before him, its golden eyes reflecting his doubts and fears. Without a word, the Kirin lowered its antlers, pointing to the earth at the ruler's feet. Understanding the silent message, the ruler planted seeds across the land, fostering unity through shared labor and harvest. The kingdom then prospered. The Kirin was said to have been seen watching over the fields from distant hills. In another tale, a young monk studying in the mountains encounters a Kirin after saving a wounded bird. The creature appeared to the monk, glowing softly under the moonlight, and guided him to a sacred spring that healed the bird's injuries. The monk later became a renowned healer, dedicating his life to helping others, believing the Kirin has blessed him with wisdom and compassion. As the forest quiets, something stirs among the remnants of human presence. A torn sandal drags itself across the ground, and a forgotten lantern flickers to life. These are the tsukomogami, inanimate objects that gain life after a century of existence. They are not mere curiosities, they are keepers of the forest's memories. The earliest mention of tsukomogami appear in the Muromachi period, where they were described as spirits of neglected objects seeking recognition. From teapots to umbrellas, these yokai reflect on the belief that everything has a soul deserving of respect. One popular story tells of a forgotten teapot left to rust in a shed, and after a century of neglect, the teapot transforms into a tsukumogami, its spout becoming a nose and its handle twisting into arms. Frustrated by its abandonment, it begins haunting the household, clanging loudly at night and spilling tea on anyone who tries to use it. Eventually, the family seeks help of a priest, who performs a cleansing ritual and a promise to honor the teapot in a local shrine. The spirit appeased becomes the protector of the household. Another tale involves a pair of sandals, waraji, discarded by a traveler after they became too worn to use. The sandals, embittered by their fate, come to life and harass their former owner, slapping at his feet during the night. The traveler, realizing his disrespect, crafts a new pair of sandals and leaves them at a shrine as an offering. The tsukomogami sandals, touched by the gesture, vanish, leaving behind a single footprint in the dust. As dawn breaks and the forest begins to fade into stillness, the yokai retreat to their places, their presence lingering in the shadows. Together they form a world that exists just beyond our own, a realm of mystery, fear, and awe. And while we only covered 6 yokai, there are thousands left to tell their tale. But for that, we'll have to wait for another adventure. We'll see you all on the next safari. Goodbye.